I mean, I think let's start with, every year we have a word of the year, and this year our word of the year is work, right? And then what comes with that? Work harder, work smarter, and I think that's part of what we have to really focus our agents on. And I think coming off the heels of one of the hardest years I've ever seen last year in 2023, I think, the more you show up, the more you work, the more time you put in, and the more you're thinking about it, that gives you the confidence. And it seems silly, but if you track most realtors in the course of the day, how many hours do they really work? Right? I mean, they really don't. They're not putting in. They all are leaving corporate America jobs or other jobs because they want to have the flexibility. But the ones that are successful are actually working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Very little flexibility.
Very little flexibility. But they're working smarter and they're using leverage and all that. So I think just getting to work and making sure that you show up every day is so important in this business. And I think most agents fool themselves all the time on how much work they're actually doing, because it is really hard to work when we associate real estate work with, I have a client, and that's when I'm working. But there's so much to do.
I think the work aspect of real estate is so misunderstood.
So misunderstood. It's 90% of what you should be doing is not agent facing.
It's not
client facing. No. It's not showing it. No, that's the gravy. That's where the magic happens there after you've done all the work.
Non-sexy work.
Laid the foundation. And one of my favorite books is The Compound Effect, right? The compound effect of how many calls did you make today to your clients? How many emails did you send? How many text messages did you send? How many CMAs did you send out? Every single day, right? Yeah. That's where your book of business takes off later. Yeah. But it's hard for agents to see that and understand that, the value of that.
I think that's leading to my next question. There's a mindset.
Yes.
And I think that why is the mindset in real estate so important? I think obviously that's, you have to have the right mindset to be successful.
Yes.
And a positive one too.
A positive one. This business, if you're not positive, it is a really hard business.
How do you do that?
Right?
Because you're one of the more positive people that I know.
Yeah, I mean, I early on learned that whatever's going on in your world, nobody else cares about. And that, everybody's got problems and everybody's got things happening, right? But for me, I love what I do. I mean, everybody knows me. When I used to ride that escalator up at EWM, I'm whistling to work. I have such a passion for it. And I think you have to find that, and you have to be able to turn that on. And it takes time and it takes practice. But if you walk in the office and you're not in the right headspace, your calls aren't going to be as good. You're not going to be attracting. The law of attraction does not happen, right? I am a huge believer of energy. Yeah. If you have positive energy and you're putting things out there, the universe will reward you. And we're seeing that this year in spades. The energy in the office in the last couple of weeks is on fire. And people are, door knocking and doing things and getting out of their comfort zone. And that may not lead to direct business, but all of a sudden business is coming to them.
Something will happen.
Something good will happen, right? And so I'm a believer of from the minute I leave the house, turn it on, be positive. Whatever I've got going on in my life, it does not matter to anybody else. There's no reason to bring it there. But I recognize it's not easy to do, right? Life is hard. Real estate is hard. We've come off of a really hard year. But as soon as I see the energy change in the office, I can tell you what's going to happen. Yeah. And as soon as I see an agent have a little bit of a different energy, they get a win, they have a great call, they go on a great listing appointment. All of a sudden, another one comes and another one comes.
It's a trickle effect.
It's a trickle-down effect. And I think that's when the value of the family of RSG and the culture of RSG have helped keeping you positive, helped keeping you going. We're so good at encouraging agents, right? Motivating them, whether it's in a contest or a scoreboard or just each other, holding each other accountable. I think that's where we do a great job of keeping agents' energy and positivity high and don't let it slip.